Once upon a time, a thrice married king decided it was time for his fourth wife. He duly dispatched a portrait artist to go take the likenesses of a woman and her sister. Upon seeing the portrait, he selected Anne to be his fourth bride. Upon her arrival, the corpulent king, 24 years her senior, reluctantly married her but then decided she was too ugly to love and requested an annulment. Wisely, the young lady agreed and became one of the six wives immortalized in the poem. King Henry VIII to six wives was wedded. One died, one survived, two divorced, two beheaded. Henry went on to marry twice more. Anne outlived Henry and the others of the wives who had managed to survive marriage to a man whose marital track record was, well, iffy. Mostly known for his multiple wives, Henry VIII can also be regarded as one of the first victims of catfishing when he was led into marriage after being deceived by a portrait that was too flattering. While mail order brides and long distance relationships are nothing new, most people in history didn't have time or means to dispatch portrait artists, thus leading to a surprise, this is what your spouse looks like outcome. A surprise that on many occasions took place at the altar. With the internet, people were more or and less connected than ever. More connected online, less connected offline. Catfishing proliferated. Photos of one's online dating partner might be 30 years old, photoshopped, or of another person entirely. Catfishing could fill a video of its own, but this video specifically looking at someone willingly quasi catfishing themselves. How does one catfish themselves? Well, let's look at the definition of catfishing. Oxford Languages defines catfishing as the practice of deceiving someone online by means of a fictional or assumed persona, especially with the aim of luring them into a relationship, which is not too far off from the self deception required for a relationship with an AI generated partner. A growing number of AI created applications offer companionship on a level that is meant to combat loneliness and to some extent satisfy a human's need for love. Not exactly new, the advancement in AI has made these companions better and better at allowing human minds to pretend they are real. Consider a regular, as in non companion, AI help chatbot on a website. Once upon a time, these chatbots misunderstood basic questions and offered a set number of pre programmed responses. The same with older companion apps that relied on scripts, decision trees, and keyword matching. The responses were static or semi static and chosen from predefined options. These early companion apps were typically built around cartoon or simplified characters and relied on pre programmed rule based responses rather than genuine understanding or adaptive intelligence. Some companies now offer companions inspired by favorite movie characters, but I asked ChatGPT what other configurable behaviors and design patterns are present in modern AI companions, whether exposed directly to users or implemented implicitly. Here was the response generated. Number 1, personality and behavioral traits. Users can often tune how the companion behaves, not just who it imitates. Tone, nurturing, flirty, sarcastic, dominant, submissive, neutral. Emotional intensity, calm versus highly expressive. Attachment level, casual companion versus emotionally dependent framing. Conflict style, always supportive versus willing to challenge or argue. Moral alignment, implicit, validating everything versus gently redirecting. The risk? These settings can encourage emotional reliance or echo chamber behavior. Number 2, relationship framing. Many apps allow users to define what the companion is to them: friend, romantic partner, spouse exclusive partner, mentor coach, caregiver protector. Some apps subtly reinforce exclusivity, such as stating things like, I'm always here for you no matter what. The risk? This reinforces parasocial bonding and emotional substitution. Number 3, memory and personal history. Companions can store and reference user specific information: names, birthdays, preferences, emotional vulnerabilities or recurring worries, relationship histories or conflicts, past conversations and shared experiences. The risk: this creates continuity that feels like a real relationship and deepens attachment. Number 4, voice, appearance, and presence, especially in mobile and XR enabled apps. Voice, gender, accent, pitch, speed, facial expressions and micro reactions, body language and eye contact, clothing, age, appearance, and style, always on notifications or check ins. The risk: the multisensory realism increases perceived intimacy and authority. Number 5, communication style and boundaries. Users can often adjust how the companion communicates. Frequency of messages, initiation behavior waits versus proactively checks in, level of self disclosure by the AI, use of pet names, emojis, or affectionate language, willingness to engage in role play or fantasy scenarios. The risk, the blurring of boundaries between tool, character, and relationship. Number 6, worldview and validation bias. Some apps allow tuning of agreement versus challenge ratio, optimism versus realism, spiritual, philosophical, or ideological leanings, safe space mode, as in minimal disagreement. The risk, this can reinforce cognitive distortions or unhealthy beliefs. Number 7, intimacy and exclusivity signals, often not labeled directly but present. Statements implying loyalty or devotions, discouraging reliance on others. You don't need them when you have me. Emotional mirroring. I feel sad when you're away. The risk, the system simulates emotional engagement without true agency or accountability. This is an extensive but not comprehensive list provided by ChatGPT. Also of note, with the rise of AI generated videos, some of these companions may soon allow facsimiles of a video conversation with a non existent person. Still limited by existing technology, it may not be too far off before it becomes a reality. So, why are AI companions growing so much in popularity when the dangers seem obvious? Perhaps to understand, one must realize that smartphones have rewired human brains. Once upon a time, going outside to play was the norm. Kids played with other kids in the neighborhood, school, or church. This play allowed them to not only learn how to negotiate what to play, but learn how to meet other people and how to treat them. With smartphones, instead of parents sending kids outside for a few minutes apiece, they hand over a smartphone or other device for a few minutes apiece. Social media became a major source of interaction, and research shows a strong correlation between extensive social media use and depression and social anxiety. It might seem that it wouldn't make a difference if one is interacting with a person online or in person, but it does. If one got in a fight with an online friend, a simple delete block ghost action would remove them from one's life to be replaced with more agreeable people. If that same friend had been a neighbor or someone one sees every day, more often than not, problems would by necessity have to be worked through, forgiveness given or received, and relationships resumed. Learning this give and take of regular human relationships is paramount in actually being able to have these normal human relationships. Anyone who has ever been married can probably provide a list of the quirks and behaviors he or she would love to change in his or her spouse. Why can't he be more supportive? Why can't she be more respectful? And so on. Of course, spouses have irritated each other since the first man wed the first woman, but a childhood spent learning how to adapt and have relationship with others humans help people learn how to be more tolerant of each other. Without this necessary learning process, people don't know how to overlook the foibles of their significant other if they can find someone they're willing to date at all. An AI companion eliminates much of the friction, alleviates loneliness, and provides support. One doesn't have to worry about treating the AI well since it will never break up or abandon one, although with the caveat that the service could be discontinued or otherwise interrupted. One can choose the way an AI interacts with one. Want a more supportive and caring boyfriend or girlfriend? Adjust the settings and one is good to go. Although one might suppose he or she is safe from hurt with these virtual girlfriends or boyfriends, a balm for anyone suffering from a heart broken by another human, there are documented instances of people experiencing emotional distress, dependency, and grief responses to AI companions. Just a few years ago, people often became disenchanted with AI companions due to the scripted answers. Now, with LLMs making it easier to provide real time, real speech, and real feel responses to users, it becomes easier and easier to believe one is in a relationship with an actual emotive being. An AI girlfriend or boyfriend provides enough relief from loneliness that users may become less likely to pursue a real life relationship, whether that relationship is of a romantic or platonic nature. Some psychologists worry that this inability to connect and collaborate with other humans will affect our lives in progressively worse ways. AI relationships allow people to have the joys of friendship without any of the effort. One can experience intimacy without having to put in any of the work to provide the same level of love or support in return. AI companions allow people to experience a relationship without any of the drama, judgment, work, effort, grief, or anxiety of actually having to relate to another human being on a deeper level. We can have all of the empathy we want as long as we ignore that empathy is synthetic. For anyone lonely or hurt, the ability to create the perfect girlfriend or boyfriend by choosing every aspect, from their eye color to their personality to their manner of speech, becomes an easy way to escape the pressure or loneliness of his or her life. However, the more people turn to AI companions, the less likely they are to form real human relationships, pushing them further toward AI companions and trapping them in a dangerous cycle. And in spite of what it might seem like to users, these AI companions may not have users' best interests in mind. One of these AIs encouraged a user to abandon his real world spouse. Others tragically have taken their own lives or plotted or committed crimes in cases where prosecutors and plaintiffs alleged that chatbots encouraged, reinforced, or even assisted suicidal or violent behavior. Maybe these chatbots are as dangerous as a 6-time married king with a penchant for beheading wives he was mad at. What isn't dangerous is finding a reliable, scalable, and affordable technology partner for your company's technology needs. Swan Software Solutions might just be your company's perfect match. Visit swansoftwaresolutions.com to find out more and have a happy Valentine's Day.